And we are at the hospital again. We did the race there, if you remember.
Yeah.
And by the way, we let these two poor guys wait for like 2 days.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, they were waiting at
yeah, from 9 to 9, for 2 days at the entrance.
Agent, those flies
have you noticed
around you.
Rules and protocol. We were waiting for you, and now you try to go in by yourself.
Oh, George. I didn't see you in the parking lot, so I thought I'd wait inside.
Just watch it.
Aww. Emily's pose.
I don't like inconsiderate people who think that they're above the rules. And I'm sure I've made this point clear by now.
Calm down, George. He probably just got lost on his way here and rushed in. Right, Agent York?
But she's the nice one.
Hmm.
She's always like on our side, although she, sees the weird sides of York, as obvious as everyone else.
Oh my god.
Kind of, yeah, that's Fiona Freckly Fiona.
Oh, she looks nice.
Hi,
We got her trading
we're here to see
our TC in before.
I think Dr. Johnson is in the computer room.
A computer room? In a hospital?
Nice to meet you, Mr. FBI agent. The computer room is where our employees share a computer.
Very nice to meet you, too. I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. But how did you know I was FBI?
Easy.
All the flies, obviously. Yeah, the cologne, of course.
Besides,
Not like the weird sea smell or lake smell.
Rumors get exaggerated as they spread, even in the countryside.
I tried to avoid shaving for a couple of days to see how a beard will look at him.
you haven't heard of this yet? It's a recent bestseller mystery. It's set in the U.S., a small traditional North American town close to the Canadian border. A peaceful, traditional place. However, that peaceful town is shattered by a terrible crime, the murder of a local girl. And that incident causes grief and sadness to everyone in town. But
Fiona, don't say that.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. With Anna dead and all.
Don't worry. Books are written to entertain, and it's good you're enjoying it. What we're faced with here is a terrible crime committed in a real world. Much different from that of a novel. So there's no need to apologize.
Thank you, Agent York.
Yeah, that book title is probably some obscure reference, which we don't know of.
Yeah. What was the book title again?
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah.
I've seen it and heard it 3 times. All good is lost on me, I guess.
We couldn't find him.
Those
Fiona
flies.
needs to check her
Yeah,
information.
they're pretty weird,
No, I
right?
don't think so. Does the doctor like playing games by any chance?
What do you mean?
There's a message on the computer, and a card key already set in place. The king passes the rook and meets the bishop. The knight takes a pawn along for the queen.
What does that all mean?
It's a simple puzzle.
Zach, let's take him up on his challenge.
It is really simple. You have to input the chess pieces in the order that they are presented in the little thing. And in case you don't know how the chess pieces are called, you can reference the posters on the wall,
Ah, okay.
So it's pretty
simple.
pretty idiot-proof.
He's excited.
Yeah.
The doctor awaits below.
Like having
deceased.
porn on another window.
Yeah.
Another code?
Like we are
But
having
there's
right now.
no...
Yeah.
More games. I'm going to get Fiona to call Usha up here right now.
No need, George. The message appeared with the card key. It's telling us where to use it.
This is not the time to be joking around, Agent Morgan.
Dr. Usha is below with the deceased. With Anna. Below being underground, I take it. Simple. Simple. Then it's time to meet the mischievous architect of this little game.
Nah.
So I get the feeling George and Emily would kind of be lost without York.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a little like, you know, this is our turf. Don't interfere, but, you know, I don't think they have, like, any clue about police work, probably, like in a murder case.
Yeah. And have you gathered why we are at this place at all? Or do you remember it?
Probably because of the Anna thing, right? I mean, the corpse and everything.
Exactly, the autopsy record.
Yeah,
so...
autopsy, yeah, that was the word I was looking for.
Okay, yeah. So we are basically having a look at her dead body.
Well, she was like cut open, right? And like
Yeah.
gutted or something.
Yeah. And that's pretty sad. The game is kind of violent and graphic in some places. And in this section, she's under a blanket, so, you know, you can't see her wounds, although you might think in police work, like seeing what kind of weapon was used and stuff like that, it would be important. And they could cover up her intimate parts, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's weird. It's a Japanese game, and you would think that they showed the wound if they showed it, you know, in the openings scene. Yeah.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Ah, you made it. Let's get started, shall we?
This is Agent Morgan from the FBI.
Nice to meet you. I'm Usher Johnson, the doctor in this hospital.
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please call me York. Everyone calls me that.
Very well, Agent York.
Are you a forensic practitioner?
Let's just say I've dealt with corpses before.
That's like a weird answer.
Yeah.
Did you create that yourself?
Either you are
I just
forensic
wanted to see if
practitioner
FBI
or not.
could handle the task.
I see. Well, it was pretty fun.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
We don't have much time. We need those autopsy results.
And also there are these weird pauses between sentences.
Next time, try challenging us without obstructing an investigation. You've angered the monarch.
From the onset of rigor mortis, the stiffening of the muscles, the time of death is estimated to be between 20 and 2200 hours. That's still quite early for such a crime to take place. Note that there are 2 exterior wounds, pressure marks around the neck.
Horse face.
Yeah, she still is.
Yeah. On her tombstone it said, "Here lies Horseface."
That death. It probably happened to her after she was killed. Now, I first thought death by suffocation due to the marks on her neck. But after further investigation, I now have a different conclusion. The direct cause of death was loss of blood from the wound.
So she was still alive
Yes,
while being gutted.
Which means...
that's right.
She was cut up while she was still alive.
You're quicker than George Woodman. A lot quicker.
I should be sheriff.
Yeah.
Beneath the sternum and then quickly sliced downwards. The excessive loss of blood from her internal organs is what actually killed her. Her nails are clean, and with no skin cells from the attacker. She also doesn't appear to have been bound nor badly beaten. She was apparently killed without resistance. The most tragic thing, however, was that she was unable to speak her story to anyone who could hear her cries.
The perpetrator cut out Anna's tongue.
Well, I believe she was drugged first to phase her consciousness, and then the killer killed her. Now, the killer most likely has a deep, traumatized past concerning women. He probably cannot converse with them.
Now he's just jumping to conclusions, you know?
Yeah, he's like trying to profile. And
Yes, exactly.
Individual. Either that or a truly hardcore
But
sadist.
you would think that all the flies would have a new target down there,
yeah.
but no, our
Get off on watching women
dress
suffer.
is far more dirty and stinky than this
Man, he
corpse.
watched as the blood pumped from her body.
So I actually still think this is like a ritual murder.
A case in Seattle in 1985 with much like...
I do think that too.
Your report to your
Probably got
findings as a
some
doctor.
red powder,
Criminal profiling is my job.
and then
I do think that too.
You're wrong, also. Anna
We will
died
see a lot more about the death
painfully aware of what
in
was
the
happening.
next 2 hours.
But,
Tell me, what time did it stop raining on the night Anna was killed?
Just before I went to bed, right after the movie on TV ended, so around 1 a.m.
What movie was it?
An American Werewolf in London.
Directed by John Landis, 1981. So the rain stopped, accompanied by the ending song, Blue Moon. George, would you mind if I examined Anna myself?
What more do you hope to find?
I'm sure I mentioned that I have a personal interest in cases like these.
This is like a new mechanic where you have this static person who can look around, view type thingy. Her hair is so ugly in this game.
Oh, it's probably some pagan. Call that pagan? Pagan?
Is this like originally pagan, whatever? I think it's pagan symbol, the peace mark?
Oh, but it looks similar.
Okay.
It was
From her
part
lack
of it.
of resistance, I'd say that Anna's injuries happened very quickly. Unable to speak, she was then left to cry herself to death.
Zach, it's all starting to come together.
The perpetrator stayed with her for at least 2 hours until it stopped raining. At the estimated time of her death, it was still raining, but you can still see tear marks on her cheeks. That means she was killed under a roof somewhere. She was then carried into the woods after it stopped raining.
There's one other thing. Her tongue was removed with a very blunt knife. In fact, it's more likely it was simply chopped off.
Asha, are you a passionate man?
Not particularly, but I am man enough should the moment call for it.
George, how about you?
I'm very passionate. Yes. Especially when it comes to women. But I don't see what that has to do with anything.
George, the perpetrator is just like you. He's passionate about women. He's a passionate kisser. This was a kiss of death.
Ah, the perpetrator. Bit off Anna's tongue.
We'll never get a dental print from a wound like this. But this is still a big lead.
You know, you would think that Asha would see this.
Yeah.
Even if you can't see, like, exact dental marks.
Yeah, but it seems like he just knows his way around corpses and is not really
York,
a doctor.
yeah.
Jackpot, Zach. A shame, but our old-time all-American sightseeing tour just came to an end.
This case is now under the jurisdiction of the FBI. I'm assuming command. I'll need you to assist me in the investigation.
What in the hell do you mean, Agent Morgan? I know I said I was passionate, but you can't think I did this.
That's not why I'm assuming command, George. You're a suspect just as much as every other passionate man on Earth. Let me show you something. There you go. Amazing, huh? I'm sure you have a lot of questions, but most of the details are top secret. George, Emily, we should be going. No need to stay here any longer.
Okay. I have to sign the release. Just give me a moment.
Very well. I'll go on ahead. I can't take it any longer down here.
So let's just...
Bishop takes queen. His rook takes your queen. Then your knight takes rook. And checkmate.
Huh?
No, I think it's kind of weird that everywhere he appears, he's encountering murders with like the same.
My first victory in the Grandmaster ranking.
Yeah, it's so I see where you're getting at. First of all, we're in this weird shadow world situation again, stepping out of the autopsy room. But you know, now it's basically fighting our way back up, and we can talk a little bit about this because I know where you want to go. You think maybe it's him because he is involved with all these murders, and there's always the red seat when he is involved with an investigation. There could be a possibility, but to you know, acknowledge at all that everywhere around the country probably there are these red seats, women murders going on, and you can only guess that it's connected to these otherworld appearances too in some way, and also connected with the red powder thing with the, you know, the drug, maybe drug red powder thing, and also like a ritual, the rituals a sect thing also.
Yeah. But it's whatever way, it seems that York is somehow involved in all this, you know. Maybe he has some weird otherworldly connection to this things happening, because I mean, you know, you have like this room where you have the deer over the fireplace, and, you know, you have like red things there too. I mean, it's called the Red Room, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
Which could also mean that he's so obsessed with this case that.
I think it always appears in his dreams, the Red Room. Och. Hello, this is Beranie and Pred again.
Hey guys.
And we're at the hospital. I hate hospitals.
Yeah, especially hospitals with tentacle
Tentacle
porn
action
possibilities.
Yeah, that's a good phrasing. I have to increase my headphone volume a little bit, so I feel like I'm more part of the action.
You know, I was York's talking to Zach all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I think I mentioned this like earlier. So he has this Zach guy, which he refers to as some kind of friend, more or less. You know, like friend, like somebody's on par with him.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's like in this alternate reality. And my theory would be that, you know, he has something dark inside of him.
Okay, like Zach's a manifestation of his dark side.
No, Zach's just a manifestation of his maybe intellectual side. And you know these alternate.
Yeah, he always asks for his advice.
Yeah,
so
his advice or his.
He's like maybe his ratio,
yeah,
not ratio, but rational side.
Yeah, and this, you know, like you have this normal world, and it's like corrupted by like more like tentacles or like weird stains and everything.
Yeah, I mean it's basically plants, but they look like tentacles. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like roots, you know, like
exactly
like bloody roots. Bloody roots. Yeah, and
nice reference.
Yeah.
To the late 90s.
And you know, I have this feeling. It's like, you know, he has like a dark secret, and he's like completely in denial. Maybe because he's bipolar. And you know,
there we are again.
And he has like these situations where it comes through, and that's where he has to fight against it, and that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, like the Alan Wake thing. At least in the beginning of Alan Wake, he's all alone with his demons, you know, with his shadows.
Yeah.
Maybe there comes a point in the game, just like in Alan Wake, where you know, like a third individual, you know, like a third party, another individual testifies to his demons and that they are real in a way.
Yeah.
But this is not the thing yet. So
yeah. But I mean, if you're like in denial of something, and I mean, not like denying things actively, but like in like a subconscious kind of way.
Yeah.
Maybe you start justifying it for yourself, and maybe you start creating things which have never happened, just to justify what you're going against. So maybe, you know, if he has somebody who what did you just say? Somebody who
another
like another person,
third party,
who sees this. Maybe it's just
an objective third person.
Yeah, maybe it's just like his imagination, like, you know.
Yeah. At this point, you would almost have to assume that, because George and Emily are not with him now.
Yeah. I mean, this is just like totally out of order, you know. He's like in this normal hospital, with normal people, and he just walks out the door, and suddenly he has to face like this nightmare.
Yeah, I have to say again that I'm only like 2 hours playing in advance to the point we are recording always. So I don't know what's happening in the end, other than the near future in this game. So I'm always speculating only to. So. Although, you know, the game developer played with Zach as some kind of player persona.
Yeah.
It's also an image for his like other or for his two-sidedness, or being like torn apart in two halves.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you have this thing right here where he like, you know, he uses his gun and shoots things actively.
Yeah.
But if he's like in the real world, you would think, you know, he's like this really smart profiling FBI agent who would actually never have to use guns, because you know you have the feeling he's not. I mean, he's not chasing like terrorists or anything, you know.
Yeah.
But he's.
Yeah, other than maybe in like extraordinary situations, he should
would
never
use his gun. Yeah, but now it's like overly, you know, like over the top.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in a lot of violent action in this game. I would foresee and think, because the game lets you think that right now.
Yeah, and one other thing is he doesn't really reflect over this. I mean, he did, I think, in the beginning. I think he said something like, "Oh, it has never been this violent before."
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So you know, you could assume that he's been in this kind of stuff before.
Yeah.
But never this violence. So maybe
it has its peak for him in this small town. So it could be that his demons, you know, originate in this like small town, or that it's just him in a certain point in his life, or that it's maybe really you know, a real circumstance he's in right now, which is situated in this town. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if
many
you go
possibilities.
If you like, probably overinterpret this kind of thing right here.
Oh, that's like the.
Oh my God! What the fuck?
That's the Greenvale hand job, I think.
Yeah, deep throat with the fist. Never seen that on the internet.
And there it is again.
Yeah.
You could.
It's like, yeah, do it again.
Like,
do it again.
That's like, you know, it asks for so much innuendo.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yeah, but what I wanted to say is, you know, I was watching this documentary on German TV a couple of days ago. Oh, okay, this is kind of far-fetched, but it's about this real-life serial killer who was doing some stuff in Eastern Germany. He was killing little boys.
Okay.
And he was attracted to little boys. And as you know from like Hollywood movie, which involves like serial killers, at some point, you know, what they do is not planned. I mean, it is planned, but they do it like with an impulse. You know, they have to do it.
Yeah.
And the time length between the incidents where they kill or they murder becomes shorter and shorter, because, you know,
it's like a drug.
It's like a drug. Yes, exactly.
You get not habituated. You get used to it. So
you have like a tolerance, which
decreases exactly.
Yeah, and in the end, he was like, he wanted to get caught.
Okay.
By the police, so he was not being that thoroughly anymore with cleaning up the place of crimes.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to get caught, because like subconsciously he was like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably how it goes.
And in this, you know, he was like, okay, now, well, it has never been this violent before, so maybe if he was like bipolar, you know, like my original theory, it's like he's coming to this point where his evil actions are subconsciously overwhelming him, that, you know, it's getting more violent and it's like just short before like a boiling point.
Yeah.
Before like his violent conscience and his normal conscience, maybe they come together.
Yeah, I think in any case it's safe to say it's short before like the point of explosion, because this will probably put an end to all this. This Anna Graham case.
Yeah.
You know, don't matter how it ends.
Yeah.
Or how it plays out. No, I've said to you before. I'm really afraid that this game game story goes totally off the rails, and just you put a pretty good an analogy to this, like Lost last season.
Yeah.
You know that nothing makes sense and is kind of nonsensical altogether without any, you know, like metaphysical or metaphorical you know, validity.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really afraid of most of all, playing this game. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, the thing that keeps me hoping is that it's, after all, a Japanese game. So I think there might be some surprises coming up for me and you.
Yeah. You know, it's, I mean, like, if you follow like Stephen King's again, we're at Stephen King, but if you follow like his interviews where he talks about writing books, and he's always like, you know, I like ride my car somewhere down the road, and I get like this idea for a novel, and it's just like the spark of an idea.
Okay.
And that's how he builds his stories and his novels, and that's something that I noticed about Stephen King books. Some of them start really great. They're like really good, and the character development is really good, and then at the end it's kind of rushed.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you have this great idea of a novel, and you progress it like over like a couple of 100 pages, and then you just have to find an end, because, you know, it's just a sparking of an idea. It's not a completely thought through story.
Yeah.
And you know, like, I've read a lot of Stephen King books, and I could probably name like maybe 10 of like 50 where I thought the idea, the end was rushed or was like like dumb.
Yeah.